Yo, you two, what it do is Maribacho watches the news. Let's get it in. Like, share, and subscribe, and comment. What happened now? JetBlue pilot speaks with air traffic control. What happened?
The flight was near, that JetBlue plane was near Venezuela at the time, which is notable because the incident comes as the U.S. military has stepped up its campaign and presence there amid President Trump's anti-drug trafficking campaign in the Caribbean, and also the attempts to increase pressure on Venezuela's government.
We're pressing them?
JetBlue now says that they've reported the incident to federal authorities. Joining me right now is CNN Transportation
mid-air collision with them or what?
That audio.
So I was making the intro.
With air traffic control is quite something. What do you make of this?
Well, it was a near collision, and fortunately the pilots were doing what you're supposed to do: look out the window at all time to see and avoid, even if you're traversing the skies on instrument flight rules, as commercial passenger jets always are. But what this says to me is this rather lukewarm warning that the Federal Aviation Administration put out a couple weeks ago, saying avoid Venezuelan airspace, is not nearly detailed enough, does not give pilots and airlines enough information.
Damn.
And this situation is really a disaster waiting to happen, because it's also coming out that there might be another one with a smaller plane that might have also happened at or near the same time. So much more guidance is needed, because there have been many mid-airs in the past with military planes.
From that audio, you hear the pilot say that the Air Force jet did not have its transponder on. Is that surprising? What's the reason to turn that off?
You want to know the reason? I'll tell you the reason. They turned that shit off, said what's up real quick.
Well, you know, this is a scenario that we're seeing over and over again. I mean, this was the after at DCA back in January. So they turn it off because they want to be in stealth mode, because it's either their mission, because they don't want to be seen. They literally
they turned it off.
don't want to be seen by other traffic.
They turned it off to say, hey, fool, what's up?
Or air traffic control, hostile air traffic control. And it's the same thing here. The warning went out that there would be operations, that there's danger over Venezuela, but I don't think that the warning was specific in saying that there's going to be very large U.S. military aircraft operating with no transponder, because that's how the collision avoidance works. You have to be seen by other aircraft to air traffic control, or collision avoidance systems simply don't work. And this is a big issue for American commercial aviation.
That's crazy, fool. They pulled up.
Yeah, I mean,
said what's up.
Where this took off from and where it
they knew you were gonna tell the military, fool.
Collision.
that show off wasn't showing off. Well, that show off was, we're right here next to one of your fucking country's airlines. That's what they're saying.
Well, that's very interesting, and of course, there's another
militant,
organization, ICAO, International Civil Organization, Aviation Organization, that also sets international flight rules.
It says, so send this to your leader.
It's a combination of the flag nation,
not leader.
Of the carrier,
send this to your fucking dumbass president.
Controller, which would be Curacao. And certainly I think that the Federal Aviation Regulation will take the lead, because it was
they wanted to fool.
Aircraft.
Yo, let's say they turn off that thing that makes them, like, it'll, whatever the fuck. They turned it off. They said, tell your government this, fool.
On both sides, it was the
you gotta think like a fucking
the transponder, and it was a commercial.
A Sean Connery.
This time of year, there's tremendous traffic back and forth to the Caribbean, so the FAA will undoubtedly be investigating, and they should issue better guidance, because the number of civilian planes brought down near military intervention.
I'm telling you, there's civilians, fool. That's gonna get the government's attention.
We
quick.
had or 2014, and then we had
There's one
Ukrainian
thing that you
Airlines
want
in 2020, and those were both
is
brought
have
down during
its citizens,
skirmishes or war actions.
especially
So
in
we
the
need
air.
better guidance out of the FAA to protect not only U.S. aircraft but others. I mean, the Caribbean's very busy this time of year.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not even a
the
thin
last
line,
thing
fool.
that
That's a fucking small
the
ass
FAA
needle.
and the Pentagon wants is a collision of an American carrier passenger jet and a U.S. military plane. I mean, to your point, if there's a lack of clarity and guidance, this seems to be a moment when it's needed yesterday, not tomorrow.
Let's see if it poked the government, us.
Absolutely.
Let's
And
see
you
if
know,
it
there's
did
talk
it.
about, well, they weren't really that close. They were under 29,000 feet. You're supposed to be 1,000 feet vertical separation. And depending, there's a lot of, different.
I'm telling you, that shit was done on purpose. They didn't.
Lateral separation, according to the pilot report, maybe they were right on the edge.
You dumb?
Of a loss of separation and a near mid-air.
I don't.
But it is close.
I don't know if you understand what they're saying, which is why I'm gonna try to break it down the only way I know. They basically fucking they turn off their deet so they could and then show off. When they're showing off, it's showing off like, hey, look at, tell your government what's up. Tell your government what just happened. That's what happened.
Enough. It's time for better guidance.
Oh, it's MARIBACHO420
Thank you so much. It is
on the
really good to see you, and
MARIBACHO420 show.
we're always thankful for your
Watching the news. Watch that ass!